Neil Ratner Rock Doc here on a Sunday with a Sunday story. But first, a little reminder. I have something new on my Facebook page. On Neil Ratner Rock Doc, on the page, if you look on the left, you'll see something new that says free chapters. Now, as most of you know, I've been working on a book for the last 3 or 4 years, which is now finished. And I'm going to publish it in the next 6 months, but I wanted to offer a free chapter to anybody who'll sign up. So just hit that button on the side of my page, sign up, and I'll be happy to send you a free chapter of my soon-to-be-released book, Rock Doc. And now for my Sunday story. And today's story is about being a road manager for the Allman Brothers. The sad story of Twiggs Lyndon Jr. I don't know how many of you know it, but you'll know it after today. So, as most of you know, I spent some time as both a road manager and a tour manager. And let me tell you, it was not an easy job, especially back in the day when there were no computers, cell phones, or all the other modern conveniences that we have today. You can only imagine. It's April 1970, and the Allman Brothers have been on the road for 5 months, driving back and forth across the United States doing one-nighters. They were promoting their debut album. Not that many people knew who they were, and they were working their asses off, let me tell you. Now, Twiggs Lyndon Jr. was the tour manager for the Allmans. And Twiggs was a very professional guy. He had been out there for a while already. And although he was only 27 at the time, Twiggs had been on the road with many other people before the Allmans. Both he and Little Richard were from Macon, Georgia. And when Twiggs got out of the Navy, and he was only 23 years old at that time, he scored a job as tour manager for Little Richard. And from there, he managed tours for Percy Sledge, Otis Redding, and he even took Sam and Dave on tour in Europe. Then, in 1969, when Dwayne and Greg formed the Allmans, they hired Twiggs. And Twiggs was real close to Dwayne Allman. Okay, now, so they're at a gig in Buffalo. On April 28th, they opened for Chicago at Stony Brook University in Long Island. They quickly pack up their gear and they hightail it 500 miles in their Winnebago for the gig the next night at Angelo Aliotta's Lounge on the other end of the state in Buffalo, New York. Okay, they play the shows, and after the show, Twiggs takes the group back to the hotel, and Barry Oakley went to Aliotta to get the money. Now, Aliotta offered $500 for the 2 shows instead of the $1,000 they were scheduled to get. Now, let me tell you, when I was the road manager of Edgar Winter, this happened once to me. I think it was in Minneapolis, and they tried to hustle me out of money. The ending wasn't the same as Twiggs, but I got my money. And I don't think the guy will do it again. At any rate, Oakley argued to no avail and went back to the hotel to tell Twiggs. Greg Allman later said, "Twiggs didn't have a short fuse, but if it burned down, look out. That night in Buffalo, Twiggs was gonna make sure we got our money." Let's listen to a little of the Allmans. What better than whipping post, right? I took all my money, yeah. So, Lyndon stormed out of the hotel with his 10-inch fishing knife strapped to his waist. And Greg called out, "Twiggs, maybe you shouldn't take that knife with you." Lyndon paid no attention and just kept walking. When he got to the club, Twiggs got right in Angelo's face. and Aliotta told him the group was late for the first show, and he'd pay the extra $500 if they did a makeup show the next night. Twiggs was incensed. He pulled out his knife, and the two fought, with Aliotta ending up on the floor, bleeding profusely from a stab wound. According to witnesses, Twiggs calmly sat in a chair and said, "I stuck him. I don't care if I get the electric chair. I proved a point." Well, an hour and a half later, Aliotta was dead, and Twiggs was charged with first-degree murder. The band hired the best lawyer they could find for Twiggs, John Condon Jr. And they loved Twiggs, man. As a matter of fact, he wasn't around for the photo shoot for the Fillmore album, and they put a picture of him on the insert on the back anyway. Okay, so there was no doubt that Twiggs killed the unarmed Aliotta over money, and Condon had to think of a different way to present the case, and he did. Temporary insanity induced by the rock and roll burnout lifestyle. Condon claimed managing a rock band on the road would make anyone nuts, and even called Barry Oakley as a witness on narcotics abuse. Well, believe it or not, the defense worked. Lyndon had already spent a year and a half in jail, and after another 6 months in a psych ward, he was released, and you guessed it, for a little while anyway, he went right back to work for the Allmans. So, he left the Allmans, and in the late 70s, Twiggs was working for a band called the Dixie Dregs. Now, he was an avid skydiver, and in November 1979, on the way to a gig in Syracuse, New York, he decided to squeeze in a dive. It was a beautiful sunny day, and I'm sure Twiggs got a great view of both the Catskills and the Adirondacks, but his chute never opened. He was only 37 years old, and that's the sad story of Twiggs Lyndon Jr. At any rate, that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to go to the site and get the free chapter. This is Neil Ratner, Rock Doc. Have a great day, and I'll see you real soon. Let's go out with the Allmans. Sometimes I feel see ya.